Next on Saratoga Live at the Caress, Triple Chelsea has reeled off 3 straight stakes wins. Can she transfer that sharp form to the spot or Saratoga debut? Morticia has been a win machine for trainer Rusty Arnold, including a stakes win in her lone Saratoga appearance last summer. She'll get a third try to try and topple Triple Chelsea. And we'll look back at the undisputed leader of the 3-year-old filly division, Monomoy Girl, and her sensational performance in Sunday's Grade 1 Coaching Club American Oaks. All that and more coming up on this Monday edition of Saratoga Live. It is presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Closing out our first 4 days of the weekend here at Saratoga, opening week at Saratoga Springs. We'll have Tuesday off, and then we get into the full swing of a 6-day week starting on Wednesdays. We get a look at things today. Little rain starting to come down here. It's been intermittent throughout the afternoon. Just one race staying on the turf. That is the feature race. We'll get to the condition of the turf course coming up in just a moment. Greg Wolf, former New York Met, LA Dodger, Paula Duca, Gabby Gaudette. And this feature coming up, loaded. Lots of very talented runners in this field. As for Triple Chelsea, she's trying to make it 4 in a row.
Yeah, she's in very sharp form as this mare by Hat Trick, and 9 for 21 lifetime. And Joe Sharp's already had one horse at this meet win on the turf course, and she's on a hot streak, and she could do it from multiple ways, in front and from behind. She's going to probably have to do it from behind. There's a lot of speed in this race.
And not only that, there's a lot of pace that could help her today.
Yeah.
We're going to check in now with Maggie Wolfendale to give us the condition of this turf course, which might be getting a little soggier as we speak. Maggie.
Wow, guys, thank goodness Harry came out here with me, as we could literally see the rain moving across the track here. We've had these kind of showers. They've been short all day, but they are pretty wet when they come down. Now, out here on the turf course, which is labeled as yielding, it doesn't feel as though there's that much cut in it. And you can see there's a lot of cushion with the grass. See, this grass is about 4 inches long, so that leaves a lot of padding, and the rain doesn't necessarily get down into the base of this surface. I'll take my pen, and it takes a little bit of pushing, really, to get it in there. So it's a very fair, and these courses were so pristine. We don't race on them for an entire year, for only these 40 days. So I think this course is going to be fair. It's not going to be a case of horses not handling it here, Greg.
All right, Maggie, thank you very much. And Harry Rice, the savior for the afternoon. Well done. And Maggie's going to be buying him dinner, I think, for holding that umbrella. You can sign up, get started, play along. All the races that we show you each and every day on Saratoga Live. By becoming a Naira Bets member, use the promo code Saratoga Live to get signed up and started. Get $200 new member sign-up bonus. New members can also participate in the Travers Bankroll Builder every Saturday to get a $100 Travers Day bet. Join now at NairaBets.com. Going to check downstairs now in the paddock. New York Racing Association handicapper Andy Serling, and welcome back to the show, the voice of Monmouth Park and occasionally at Aqueduct as well, Frank Miramati, the Mirror Man, here with us.
Thanks a lot, Greg. And I got to tell you, I've been looking forward to a lot of things at Saratoga this summer. Nothing more than spending some time with my good friend Frank Miramati.
Appreciate it very much, Andy, and I have to say the same. When you're at the place where we have the world's best racing, it's nothing short of an honor, and certainly appreciate all the New York fans. I can't tell you how many I stopped by and had a chance to talk to today. It's great to be here.
Well, it's great to have you, and now that I have you here, I can start abusing you.
Give it your best shot, my friend.
Let's take a look at the race that Triple Chelsea and Morticia are coming out of, the Unbridled Sydney. It's the last start for Triple Chelsea, and it was 2 starts back for Morticia. Both of these fillies are terrific, and obviously you have no idea whether or not one or the other will prefer or like the going in the ground. I thought this was an exceptional effort by Triple Chelsea, and really her rider just had the utmost confidence in her, because Morticia was setting a very moderate pace for a turf sprint. And Triple Chelsea, man, she just comes and gets her.
And look at the confidence as she starts rolling down the center of the course. I loved Morticia in this race, but after watching what happened here, and it just looked like a measured mowdown by Triple Chelsea, it's very difficult and, in fact, impossible for me to pick Morticia on top of her, because to me, it just seems like no matter what, she's going to catch her.
Right. Well, I guess the going today. I mean,
Right.
as Maggie said, the course is in good shape, but it's still going to have a little bit give, and you don't know if one will like it and one won't. But I agree. Morticia did everything her own way, and it was a narrow margin. But in some ways, there are narrow margins that are narrow margins, and there are ones that aren't as short. And it just feels to us like Triple Chelsea is a horse that can do anything. She can be close to the pace, and she can come from well off it.
When you look at her past performances, she has had a couple of defeats on good courses. So if you're looking for a chink in the armor, maybe that's what you do. But to me, I don't care what she runs on. She can run on gravel. I just think when she comes rolling, look out.
I'll tell you, it's like this is an excellent running of the Caress.
Yes, it is.
It is a fantastic field. You can make a case for just about everybody in this group. It's going to be extremely competitive. Here are the races that we have coming up for you. Race 7 is the Caress, 5.5 furlongs on the turf ahead. Race 8, starter allowance at 1 mile and an eighth, and we'll close things out 5.5 furlongs again on the, or sorry, taken off the turf. New York bred maiden special weight coming up in that last race. I think we're going to have a little bit of disagreement on the set with our analysts.
Okay.
Track conditions brought to you by Piranha Fly Spray, the preferred fly spray of the Saratoga Racecourse. Piranha on, pests gone. Main track sloppy, turf course yielding as we take a look at the field for the Caress coming up. Triple Chelsea, 3-1 favorite, trying to make it 4 in a row and trying to beat Morticia for a 3rd consecutive time.
Yeah, and she really is. She's obviously in tremendous form, going for for 4 in a row. Here's a mare that was 0 for 7 last time out. I'm going to play a little pick 3 because we have 3 races on Saratoga Live today. I'm going to go a little deep in here, or excuse me, I'm going to go a little deep in the next race. I'm going to single in here. The Fire Key. I must have put the wrong ticket into all. It's a 10-12 in the last. I thought that the last race could be a race where you can go 10 and 12 in there.
Every day of the Saratoga meet, use the NyraBets app to place $1 base trifecta on a selected stakes and earn a 10% winner's bonus. Today's race is the Caress coming up next, so download the NyraBets app, get your bet in, and earn that 10% bonus. Triple Chelsea, there she is for trainer Joe Sharp, trying to make it 4 consecutive wins. She is 7 for 16 lifetime on the turf, and we're going to meet a new face in the Jocks room here at Saratoga. The late pick 3 is coming up. It's all coming up ahead. Stay tuned.
International Super Sire Warfront. Among his 34 stakes horses in 2017 were Grade 1 winners American Patriot, Avenge, Roly Poly, War Flag, and Europe's champion 2-year-old colt, U.S. Navy Flag. Last year, Warfront was the nation's #1 sire in multiple categories. In the sales ring, his yearlings continue to bring prices well over $1 million. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're on. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with NyraBets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or NyraBets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NyraBets.com.
Back on Saratoga Live. Berkshire Bank Family Mondays. It happens every Monday from 11 to 4 at the Coca-Cola at Saratoga Pavilion. Wide variety of family activities. Grass is next. We're just 13 minutes to post. And still, wow, the price has come down even a little bit here on Triple Chelsea. Again, trying to make it 4 wins in a row. Trained by Joe Sharp. And your thoughts on this one, who just comes in the sharpest form of anybody?
Well, you know, she is coming in with the sharpest form, Greg, and she is going to get enough pace in front of her. So we'll see. I mean, she is definitely the horse to beat in here.
A new face at Saratoga will be aboard Triple Chelsea. First time here at the spot. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
Yeah, here with Adam Beschizza, who is a familiar face to me at least. But yes, Adam riding his first race here at the spot. And did you ever imagine when you came over to the States back in the winter in New Orleans that you'd be up here?
Definitely not. I've had a few trips up to New York, and this is my first time at Saratoga. But let's hope we're in the right driving seat today, and let's hope we can come out with a winning one anyway.
And certainly on the right filly here in this Caress, Adam. Triple Chelsea is a filly that has responded very well to you, but it doesn't really matter where she's placed in the race. Is that just her overall will to win?
Yeah, she's better off with the target in front of her. We worked that out at the fairgrounds. One time I was left in front, you know, plenty early enough, and she just idled a little bit, and we got caught. But you know, I've had enough tries on her now to hope I'd get it right. But no, she comes here in a good vein of form, and you know, there's probably a little bit more juice in the ground today than there's ever been. It's a little.
Is that a concern?
I'm not too concerned, but obviously it's you know, it's something she'll be taking on for probably the first time, probably since Kentucky Downs. But no, yeah, I'm not too concerned. But she's in a good vein of form, and listen, she's in with a winning chance today anyway.
Hopefully she is just that, and I'll be talking to you after the race as well. Adam, best of luck here with your first mount at the spa.
I hope so. Thanks, Maggie. Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, talking about his mountain here, Triple Chelsea, she is number 3, and she does come off a little bit of a freshening here for trainer Joe Sharp. And with that in mind, you couldn't ask her to look any more fit. Now, she's also fairly keen in here. She's very aware of her surroundings. She's kind of been looking around, and what I noticed about her too is that, you know, she's a filly that in her races, she kind of puts her head out and really just wants to be in front. She is wearing those earplugs, so to kind of drown out any erroneous noise that she experiences here at the spa. But so far, it is working, and she is in fine fettle heading into this one. Now, second off of the bench is number 6 in here, Fire Key, for Pat Kelly, who got very good last year. And she was run down last time out, coming back in her race by JC's Shooting Star. But I feel as though we weren't actually dealing with that fit of a mare in here, because she is a lot more fit this time around. She's a lot more tucked up. I like her overall presence here. She also may have been a little too fresh because she was keyed up that day, but she looks fantastic here overall. Speaking of being keyed up, and she should be because she is a front-running type, that's number 7, Girls Know Best, for Eddie Keneally, and arguably she's the one who, of any of these, likes some cut in the ground the most with that triple-digit Beyer speed figure over a yielding course at Keeneland. Yes, she wasn't facing the likes of these very accomplished turf sprinting fillies and mares, but she has go in her mind, and she will be vying for that early lead, I would say. So horses are heading out for the Caress Stakes. Greg, back to you.
Maggie, thank you. That report brought to you by Hillendale Farm, now standing Curlin for $150,000. Caress coming up. We're going to get to our post parade here in just a moment. And a new face. That was a British flat jockey coming over here, Adam Beschizza. Said more money opportunities here in the U.S. Big reason why he came over here.
Yeah, he really made a splash in Kentucky when he first came over here, and you know, he's going to take his shots here and there. This is a tough circuit to break into at Saratoga, really best jockey colony in the country, and I will Send this over to Greg Wolf now. Happy now?
Don't you do it. Don't you talk over the
Happy
post,
now?
call to post.
You happy now?
Can't do it. We're going to see Just Talking first.
Sure, Sam appreciates that.
It's good luck. Just Talking is the one who we're going to see first. It is on our screen right now for Jason Service. Irad Ortiz Jr. aboard.
Well, listen, Jason's been hot as a pistol. This horse won at 50 cents on the dollar, 2 back. And then last time behind Morticia, you're getting 7-1 today for Irad Ortiz Jr. Good connections here for that price.
Has a win on a turf course with some giving it as well. Here is Morticia, stakes winner here last year in the Coronation Cup.
She's fast. The only issue is there might be faster to her outside, but she's incredibly consistent throughout her career.
2015 Fasig-Tipton October sale grad. The 3 Triple Chelsea, Joe Sharp.
Well, very sharp, no pun intended. 4 for 5 this year, looking for her 5th win and over 200,000 in earnings.
And Adam Beschizza, who Maggie just talked to, will be back aboard. Fire Key is the 6. Paco Lopez for Patrick Kelly.
Good race off the layoff last time out and is 2 for 2 here at Saratoga.
Girl knows best, Eddie Keneally, Corey Lannery, and a speedster.
Yeah, a speedster is an understatement. She has never not had the lead at some point in her races, and she's 10 for 16 lifetime.
Trainer Darren Miller sends out Ruby Notion 19-1 with Florent Giroux.
She's got 4 victories to her name, but those victories have come against easier company than what she faces today.
Chanteline, she has beat Triple Chelsea before, trained by Steve Asmussen.
You know, and she could have beat her again when she got left at Keeneland. I think she's the sneaky horse here at 9-1.
And a sneaky, also eligible perhaps here for Al Stahl Jr. Brielle's appeal with Sean Bridgman.
Yeah, a couple really fast races and on a soft turf course, which basically you're getting today, a 5.5 length winner. So 6-1 could be a good price.
And Bowie 22-1 on the outside for Brett Calhoun with Julian Leperoux.
Another one coming off a victory last time out at Churchill Downs, but has to deal with that outside post.
That's your field for the Caress. We'll set it downstairs to Andy and the Mirror Man.
Tell you, Frank, this is an excellent race here, and we'll talk about a number of these, starting with the 6 Fire Key, who comes in, and as Gabby pointed out, second off a layoff. Now, she would have to improve off her last effort to beat this kind of field. I don't think she's ever beat a field of this quality, but her last race last year was the best race she ever ran. If she get back to that, she'd have a chance.
She's very honest, as you mentioned. She's 12 for 18, first and second, and in her stakes competition, she has done extremely well. She won easily when the Autumn Days back in November that you talked about, and then before that, she had run a really good race at Laurel.
She also has a blowout win on a yielding turf course at Belmont last May, one of her better efforts, especially at that time in her career. The 11 Brielle's appeal for Al Stahl. Now, she drew into this race off the also eligible list, and she shows a blowout win last time at Keeneland that would give her a shot. She'd have benefit to be an outside stalker in here. Now, she's never faced anything close to the quality she's faced here, but she's an interesting newcomer.
The good news is she has no idea what she's faced because most of them have been behind her her entire career. The only time she lost, there was a layoff afterward. Look, when you look at the paper, you think, okay, there are others who go quicker for the first quarter, but she's not used to anyone being ahead of her, and she will fight for that lead early. She's very quick, very dangerous. The race she won, a couple of horses that were well back did come back to score.
We haven't even gotten to the hottest trainer in the country, and that's the Jason Service, who trains the one Just Talking. You've been watching him win at Monmouth at a high percentage. We've been watching him win in New York at a high percentage. You know, Just Talking, now she's not as good as Morticia. Her last effort was disappointing. But the way Jason Service's horses are running at a big price, I could not leave him off my multi-tickets.
When you're fresh, you're even more dangerous under the care of Jason Service, and he has been putting on an absolute clinic. I will say this. You look at various categories. In turf sprints that I've watched at Monmouth Park, he's lethal.
He's probably as dangerous a trainer with turf sprinters as possible. The 7 Girl Knows Best is another layer in this race, which includes horses like Fabian for trainer Bob Baffert, Chantelina we didn't talk about, but the 7 horse Girls Know Best, another horse who has a very good effort on a yielding turf course for back at Keeneland in April. She runs back to that race. This field could be in trouble.
It's just interesting to see what will happen on the front end because there are several of these that want to go out there, and the question is who will be the quickest of the quick. How many times do we look at races that it looks like it's going to be a major battle and then one of them clears off?
Well, it does feel as though the 7 Girl Knows Best is as fast or a little faster than Morticia. Morticia. They probably go, but I think the addition of Brielle's appeal on the outside, you've got a real speed out there. I mean, she's never not in the lead. Now, she's never faced the caliber of this, and there may be some faster, but you're right. This is a real war out there.
And we have a lot of big fans watching this show, and so let's give a little love to the mare for whom this race was named, Caress. She was a stone-cold runner. She earned over $660,000. She was under the care of Alan Jerkins, and I know you watched her many times.
She did it the hard way. I mean, to make $600,000 in the early 90s, she probably made about $1.5 million in these races now. I actually saw her break her maiden back in the middle of June of 1994, which she did in the dirt. Went right to the turf. She was 11 for 26 lifetime in the dirt. She's also, on the turf, excuse me, also the dam of Sky Mesa, Greg.
Thank you guys for that report. Want to remind everyone where to go. Saratoga Showdown. You can get involved without risking any of your own money each and every day on the show. Go to NYRA.com/showdown, and we try and update the top 10 at the end of each and every show, and you're playing for real prizes as well. So get involved. It only involves the races we show on our program each and every day. Let's head downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale.
Once again, dodging some raindrops here in the winner's circle, guys, as it looks as though the skies are clearing behind this beautiful historic racetrack. As we'll check out number 11, Brielle's Appeal in here, who is taking some money for trainer Al Stahl. And it seems as though Al Stahl always has his horses geared up for this Saratoga meeting. And boy, despite being a lightly raced 4-year-old, physically, she matches up to these fillies and mares quite nicely. She's ultra athletic and just carries a nice presence about her. She's also keen and sharp on the muscle, which she should be. She is a speed type. We'll see what she does. I don't think, though, she is as fast as a horse such as Girls Know Best, which she is reunited here once again with Corey Lannery. And Corey Lannery aboard for that win back at Keeneland on April 26th, and that was a race to benefit his late wife, Chantel. So a very sentimental horse that he is aboard, and he only came back to riding a week or so ago. So it's nice to see Corey up here at the spa, and a definite sentimental root for here with Girls Know Best. Greg?
Oh, absolutely. Everyone would be certainly happy to see Corey back in the winner's circle with all that he has gone through of late. That is a tremendous loss. The entire racing industry felt that. And it's a filly in this spot that absolutely getting attention. 7-2 on the board right now. That one trying to win 4 in a row as well.
Deserves the attention. She really does. She had I would say, Gabby, a breaking performance on a soft, yielding turf course at Keeneland when she just won off. Now, can she clear this field? If she can, she's going to be dangerous.
Well, you have to pay attention to the other likely speed types. I mean, Morticia is very fast to her inside. I still don't think that she's as fast as Girls Know Best, and she's proven that she can get over very quickly a turf that has some give to it. Yeah. I honestly think she could be the speed of the speed, and she is the horse to beat, in my opinion, because she has proven that she can handle a turf with give in it, whereas Triple Chelsea, on the other hand, she's tried it twice and hasn't been successful.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there is Morticia. Wow, 6-1 right now on the winner of last year's Coronation Cup here at Saratoga.
Doesn't add up. I mean, the 2 and the 3 in the pick threes and the doubles are about the same. So the public going a little bit different ways, but the 7's a good way to go because she's very fast. She's going to probably be in front of this group at the top of the lane. We'll see if she has any stay because there's going to be company for her early.
Well, that yielding turf course where she just ran lights out, best race of her career. Talking about the 7, Girls Knows Best. Can she repeat it on a similar type of turf here with a lot of giving it today? Well, we saw Maggie give that report, and there actually wasn't a ton of giving it, but we've gotten a lot of rain here in the last, what, 20 minutes since that report?
Yeah, and it's just been on and off all day, so it's hard to tell. But we did get we got a significant amount of rain just now.
A little bit, you think?
Yeah, a little wet.
Loading up for the Caress. And it is Triple Chelsea for trainer Joe Sharp. The horse to beat, trying to make it 4 in a row. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York racing for the call. Here's Larry Colmus.
Bowie coming up to the outside stall completes the line here. They're all in line. We're ready for the start. They're off in the Caress. Just Talking bobbled coming out of the gate. And it's Girls Know Best who comes out running on the lead. Brielle's Appeal on the outside away, running in second. Chanteline is third. Morticia fourth. Fire Key fifth in between horses. And Ruby Notion is right there too with Bowie to the outside. Then late running Triple Chelsea, who's given them a 7-length head start. And after that early stumble, Just Talkin' trails the field, moving for the far turn. The first quarter was 22.36 seconds, and it is Girls Know Best and Brielle's Appeal. These two a neck apart. Chanteline just off of them. Ruby Notion circling up on the outside, now taking third. Fire Key is next. Then Morticia, followed by Bowie to the outside. Triple Chelsea still about 7 lengths to make up, and they're into the stretch. Girls Know Best, Ruby Notion. These two come to the 8th pole together, and then comes Chanteline in third, followed by Morticia to the outside. Nothing yet from Triple Chelsea. Just Talking is closing in the center. The one to beat here is Ruby Notion. Ruby Notion going for the upset. Chanteline on the outside second as they come down to the wire. Ruby Notion and Florent Giroux win the Caress at 27-1. And then it was Chanteline second, followed by Just Talking and Morticia in 106.43.
Bust out long shot, 27-1. Ruby Notion for trainer Darren Miller with Florent Giroux aboard.
Well, you get a boggy course and a lot of strange things can happen. She had really never run races on paper that were close enough to beat just about anyone in here. She got a perfect trip from Florent, and she came here and got it done in a very, very tough field. Nice effort by her, and a hard luck third, Frank, for the one horse Just Talking, who was eliminated at the start.
Yeah, she bobbled and came on running very strongly, but these top two were well clear of the rest. And last year, Ruby Notion really was closer to the pace early than she was today. She rested through the opening quarter, pounced, and just looked like she was having a ball out there.
So 27-1 on Ruby Notion. Little give of the ground, and yeah, you get some wacky results here. 8, 9, 1, and 2, and Triple Chelsea does not even hit the board.
Yeah, you know, nobody really fired. You know, Ruby Notion and Chanteline, like Frank was saying, you know, Chanteline had a very, very good trip. She swung to the outside, and you figured, okay, she's going to have the best here of Ruby Nation, but none of it. Ruby Nation just went away from her.
Yeah, and you could just see that they were kind of skipping over the top of the surface. We did see kind of some kickback on the turf, so you could see that it did take some moisture today. But these two fillies, they just love the condition of the track.
Yeah, excuse me, Ruby Notion, but 27-1. Gonna blow up everything here at the spa.
Wow, that's gonna play so huge in the Naira Bets late pick 5. We're gonna look back at Monomoy Girl, that sensational effort on Sunday in the coaching club American Oaks, and what might be next.
Switches back to the outside. Exaggerator down to the 16th pole, but Exaggerator has turned the tables. He has won the Preakness. He has won the Travers over American Flag. Irish War Cry has won the Wood Memorial. Alice. Good Magic's gonna win his first race, and he's gonna do it as the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Back on Saratoga Live, presented by Claiborne Farm. Ruby Notion, huge long shot, 27-1. Takes the caress here on the first Monday of the Saratoga meet, winning for trainer Darren Miller and Florent Giroux.
Yeah, congratulations to Ruby Notion. A mare by Great Notion out of the Volksgrad mare, Modana Bay, Silverton Hill here, now 5 for 13 lifetime. Wow, like you said, gonna blow up that tote board, $383 for that pick 3, and look at that exacta. Just wanted just a little bit of that.
Homebred for Silverton Hill. Let's go downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale.
Joined here in the winner's circle by Chase Miller, son of Darren Miller. And Chase, this filly you brought up and third off the layoff, was that really kind of the key with her today?
Well, we thought she ran a winning race last time at Churchill. I thought she was much the best. You know, she had high odds in this race, but we were really confident coming into this race. We knew Eddie had a nice filly in this race, and we were really looking forward to running her today.
When you kind of pick apart her form, she's certainly faced some of the best turf sprinting fillies and mares.
Yeah, she has. She has, and she's so honest, and she's so good to work around, and she makes the job really easy. So.
And are you up here with some of your dad's horses?
I'm not. Just came here with one, and I leave tomorrow, so it was a great trip. It was an awesome trip.
Job done, and you are no stranger, though, to Saratoga. Spent several summers up here galloping for George Weaver.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. George is great.
Well, we're pleased to see you in the winner's circle, Jace. Go get your trophy.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys.
Certainly dressed the part. I think he knew he had a live one today.
He definitely did. He put on his best suit. It looked sharp and got the money, and got a lot of the money.
So Ruby Notion picks up the 5th win of her career, just 3rd win on the turf. We look at the Naira Bets late pick 5 follow along, 89,000 plus the pool. Started off with a odds-on Chad Brown favorite. Calculated risker. Many had. This one, not so much.
Yeah, not so much. $56.50 the return on that one.
Here's the late pick 5 versus the late pick 4. It paid $750 yesterday. The late pick 5 paid $3,900. And we've seen even bigger disparities for a lot of the days of the meet.
Yeah, the earlier was 440 to 10,000, so it varies here to there, but still to play, you got to download your Naira Bets account and get in on the late pick 5.
Once again, our show brought to you each and every day by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. The Caress in the books. Race 8 scheduled for the main track. 50,000 starter allowance at 1 1/8. And right now, Sanavi 8-5 on the board.
Yeah, this one claimed for Linda Rice from Reed Saldana. California horse. Horse been a little bit everywhere. For a good friend, Carla Liza and Marissa Liza. You know, listen, the horse to beat, I get it. 2 for 2 over the wet track, 1 for 1 here at Saratoga, and it's Linda.
It is, but I still do think could be a little bit vulnerable because I just don't know how strong those fields were that this horse has been facing out west.
No, I'll tell you what, the other horse, the 4, Kriya's Brooklyn Law, I think it's a long shot look.
8-1 on that one. We're going to go through this entire field more in just a moment. Coming up, of course, Sunday, it was the heavyweight battle that everybody was looking forward to early on in this meet in the Grade 1 Coaching Club American Oaks. Your Kentucky Oaks winner, Monomoy Girl, and Midnight Bijou, who had a troubled trip in that race, wound up 3rd. The 2 best 3-year-old fillies in the country in a rematch going head-to-head. Let's take another look.
Monomoy Girl turning for home in front. Midnight Bijou has taken 2nd, and she's got dead aim at her if she's good enough as they come into the final furlong of the Coaching Club American Oaks. Monomoy Girl is in front. Midnight Bijou is all out 2nd to the outside. Chocolate Martini is 3rd. Monomoy Girl's got plenty left in the tank. Oh, what a fabulous filly she is! Monomoy Girl wins it by 3. Midnight Bijou was no match for her today.
Well, jockey Florent Giroux said, I thought I had the best horse coming into the race. I rode her like she was. It was take no prisoners, take it to them right away. Just keep on going, and that's exactly what she did. Brad Cox believes if this race had been at 1.25 miles, she could have absolutely gone that extra ace. So now all of a sudden they think that Alabama's back in play.
I think the key to the Coaching Club American Oaks yesterday was Geo Game, just sitting on her flank the entire way, because we have seen in the past that she can be a quirky filly. So I almost think that the pressure from Geo Game, because they did go a tepid pace, actually kept her focused.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Listen, whenever you have a filly that is 8 for 9 now lifetime, speeds her game, she dictates the race, right? I mean, everybody has to chase her. So regardless whether you're an older filly, younger filly or not, and you want to try to take her on, Monomoy Girl, you're going to be seeing her behind for a long time unless you want to pass her. That's the bottom line.
If this racetrack had come up super soupy and wet yesterday, the ownership group got together. They said an alternative plan, scratch, run against the boys in the Haskell. They were considering that. Of course, that did not happen. But Stuart Grant of the Elstone Group, part of that ownership group, has said if Parks wants to throw maybe an extra $500,000 in that pool instead of the Cotillion, maybe they'd think about running in the Penn Derby. So we will see what happens with that situation if she will run against the boys as we throw it downstairs to Andy and Frank. Just a sensational performance out of our leader in this division right now.
I'm trying to figure out why a racetrack would give more money for a horse to go into another race being run the same day. But that's what I'll try to figure out later. I'll leave that to the smart guys like you,
They're making a lot of money. They want to throw it around.
But she would be running the Cotillion otherwise, so she'll be there one way or the other. She's a terrific horse. She is. She is the leader of this division. She has sewn up the championship. Her speed makes her dangerous. Midnight Beast is just not as good as her. She's a very nice horse. But Monomoy Girl is dominant this week.
She put her away, and it was a schooling that took place here. Midnight Bisou, Mike Smith had to do everything right, and he did. He put her in the right position, and at this racetrack, you have that long to get by, the best horse is going to win, and she was pulling away with authority. She put an exclamation point. They met before in the Kentucky Oaks. Now there's no debate any longer as to what the story is.
Right, the trips weren't the reason. This is the better horse of the two. And Midnight Bisou, it's no disgrace. It's a very, very nice horse. It would been great. You know, you look at different years. She would have been a perfect kind of horse to run against a horse like Songbird because they had such a similar running style, and they both had good stamina as well. I doubt they go to the Alabama. I hope they do. And I'll tell you something. The Alabama, there's a horse that's name just doesn't come up. I think it's Red Ruby, the horse who won the Delaware Oaks with a 104 buyer and won by 13 lengths, won the Black-Eyed Susan. I can't wait to see her in the Alabama because she might be the only horse that can beat Monomoy Girl.
And what's scary is if Monomoy Girl has the opportunity to sit back and rate. Once you have that weapon of speed, it's so dangerous because she dictated the terms here, but she doesn't have to do that, and that's what makes her such a top-class individual.
No, that's a very, very good point. She absolutely is a one-dimensional horse, and in fact, when Maggie Wolfendale was down in Fairgrounds this winter, she got a chance to see her develop, and if you look at her first start, she wasn't on the lead that day, Maggie.
No, she had a bit of ring rust that day in the Rachel Alexandra, Andy, but still, watching her train up to that point, it was like a good-looking girl or guy walking by on the street. Everybody just stopped and went, "Whoa, who is that?" And Laurent obviously telling us, and when she ran in that Rachel Alexandra, she proved that her class pulled through and her athleticism. And then from that point on, going on and winning the Ashland. Each and every time I saw her, she looked to have it more together mentally and mature physically. It just feels as though Brad Cox has had this plan and has really executed it and has had some luck that Monomoy Girl has responded well to it, and then just dominant in the Kentucky Oaks as she prepped to come for the Acorn at Belmont. And that day I was blown away, and I was even more blown away by her appearance here yesterday as when I rode up to her on the pony. As I said, she was not blowing that much at all. And I talked to Liz Crow here in the paddock just now, who was actually very instrumental in purchasing her as a yearling. And she said that, you know, it is a lot to ask her to come back in the 3 weeks to the Alabama, but she's come out of the race doing well. And their main target, what they're leaning towards, sounds like, as Greg said, going to Pennsylvania, whether it's the Cotillion or the PA Derby. We will be waiting on the edge of our seats to find out, right, Greg?
Absolutely, or the Alabama. Brad Cox said it's back in play, so we will wait and see. I'll say this much. You know that song, Wrap It Up? I'll Take It?
Yes.
Clips Award, over and done, right? In the 3-year-old filly division?
I think it is, yes.
Yeah.
Race 8 mile and an 850,000 starter allowance ahead. Sanavi for Linda Rice. Off the claim, looking to win back-to-back starts. We're going to go through this field coming up in just a moment. Paddock report ahead. We'll have a post-parade as well. A little bit of rain starting to come down again here on this Monday afternoon at Saratoga. Race 8 ahead. We'll set the stage for it when we return on Saratoga Live, presented by Claiborne Farm.
An undefeated graded stakes winner on the track, Algorithms was the nation's #1 sire of 2-year-olds in 2017 by percentage of winners. His top runners include multiple graded stakes performer Rich Mommy, winner of the Grade 3 Sugar Swirl, multiple stakes winner and graded stakes performer Recruiting Ready, and stakes winners He Hate Me and Sunset Ridge. In the ring, his yearlings have commanded prices up to $220,000. Algorithms, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're on. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Runhappy's first foals are on the ground. Everyone's excited about the Runhappy foals, and he's Runhappy's first foals are on the ground. Everyone's excited about the Runhappy foals, and he's throwing his quality and looks like his speed and athleticism in his foals. And if they can run like him, I think we'll be in really good shape.
I get a lot of calls from people telling me what great foals they've had by the horse, and they love them and this and that. I mean, you know, they're all kind of similar, you know, color, size, physicals. So we'll see as we go, but so far so good.
But yeah, no, you see a lot of Runhappy in a lot of his foals.
Well, we bought Runhappy at the Keeneland sale several years ago and bought him for $200,000, so best investment I ever made.
To have a horse that was medication-free throughout his career speaks volumes. I mean, you know, most of them have to have a little something every now and again. That makes him pretty unique in today's world to run at the level he did for a period of time he did it.
He's a drug-free horse. We think sports ought to be drug-free, so we try to practice what we preach.
But I think the race that probably really got our attention was the King's Bishop in Saratoga that year. And that kind of, it's like, you know, when he re-broke at the top of the stretch and opened up and won as easy as he did, it's like, wow, okay, yeah, this horse is for real.
It's Runhappy in front. Limousine Liberal, Holy Boss can get him. Runhappy has won the Naira.com King's Bishop by 4.
Certainly one of the highlights of my life was watching him on the screen there at Niagara go across the finish line first to the King's Bishop Grade 1. So at that point, we knew we had a real racehorse.
To go up to Saratoga and win the King's Bishop like he did and run away with it and win so impressively, and then come here and, you know, his saddle slipped at the race in Keeneland and he still won, and then it looked like he was a loser in the Breeders' Cup, but he fought on, and his game and the determination he had was really impressive. And
got a little behind, was way behind at the top of the stretch, and then he made an amazing run down there and won the Breeders' Cup race. That was the Breeders' Cup Sprint champion, new track record at Keeneland. So again, just a testimony to this great horse and the team behind him, which was, you know, Laura and Cordell and the team that devoted so much time, effort, and energy to Runhappy. And we couldn't be prouder to have Runhappy and have him stand at Claiborne Farms. That is myself and my daughter's happy place. We love Claiborne Farms, and Runhappy loves being there. He won at Keeneland, he won at Santa Anita, he won at Saratoga, several of the legendary places in horse racing. And what a great horse, what a great thrill it was to be around Runhappy and now to follow his stud career.
that was probably one of the most famous stalls in maybe central Kentucky, maybe the country or the world even. You know, it had Bold Ruler, Secretariat, Unbridled. Now it has Runhappy, so we can see if he can continue on with the tradition.
An incredible sprinter in his day, and we're going to see his offspring coming to a racetrack near you in the spring or summer of 2020. Looking forward to that. Our show brought to you in part each and every day by Runhappy. Here's another son of a Claiborne sire, Algorithms. This is Make the Rules. Algorithms by Bernardini. Winner of the Grade 3 Holy Bull by 5 lengths. Undefeated graded stakes. Winner of the #1 sire of 2-year-olds in 2017 by percentage of winners. Had 8 stakes horses last year, including Recruiting Ready and Sunset Ridge. Time for a paddock report right now. It's brought to you by Hillendale Farm, now standing Bayern for $15,000. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, Greg. And yeah, we'll take a look at #1, Make the Rules, that son of Algorithms, trying to stretch out here. First off, the claim for Mike Maker, as Javier Castellano is also looking for his 4th win on this Monday card at Saratoga. I like him as an individual. He looks fantastic here. Great weight, great coat, so on and so forth. But the distance bothers me a little bit. Maybe he gets brave and comfortable out there on the front end, but it's not as if he's dealing with some horses that won't be keeping him company out there either. So we'll see what he does as we'll move on to #6, Tiz No Bluff. Poor guy. 3rd consecutive race where he has to run on a wet track, in which I don't think this is his preferred surface. I still like him. He's extremely attractive here. Ford trainer Michelle Nevin, looks strutting his stuff, trying to emulate Zenyatta to the best of his abilities. And he's sharp here. We'll see what goes on as far as the track condition. It's a shame that we're not seeing a fast track for him, but one that should like this going is on the outside in #9, Matcha's Reward. Yes, he got an absolutely perfect, brilliant inside trip, breaking his maiden for 40 at Oaklawn over this spring. But he also looks like a horse that would like a wet track. While he's big, he's also very kind of elegant, and he's not that heavy. He's lighter in a frame perspective. He looks brilliant here overall. I love his overall disposition as well. We'll see what kind of trip he pulls. He does seem to like to be up on the front end, and I don't think he's going to secure that over Make the Rules, but still a very logical contender here, Greg.
All right, Maggie, thank you very much. We're going to take a break in the action. Race 8 ahead, and great job by Maggie picking that up. That was the act of Zenyatta each and every time before she got ready to race, throwing that leg up in the air. We'll be back right after this.
An undefeated graded stakes winner on the track, Algorithms was the nation's #1 sire of 2-year-olds in 2017 by percentage of winners. His top runners include multiple graded stakes performer Rich Mommy, winner of the Grade 3 Sugar Swirl, multiple stakes winner and graded stakes performer Recruiting Ready, and stakes winners He Hate Me and Sunset Ridge. In the ring, his yearlings have commanded prices up to $220,000. Algorithms, standing at Claiborne Farm.
How do New York breds perform? They win in world-class company. From Grade 1 races in Dubai, where New York sired, New York bred Mind Your Biscuits won the Golden Shaheen for a 2nd time. to Belmont, adding to his status as the richest New York bred with a close second in the Met Mile. The Belmont Festival saw 2 more New York breds become millionaires. 4-star Crook in the New York Stakes and world record setter Disco Partner with a repeat victory in the Jaipur. New York breds, get with the program.
You're watching Saratoga Live on Fox Sports 2 and other regional networks across the country. Greg Wolf, Paula Duca, Gabby Gaudet, Andy Serling, Frank Miramati with us today, and Maggie Wolfadale. We're getting set for race 8 coming up. It's brought to you by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Getting set for our post-parade ahead here for this 8th race. It is still Sanavi off the claim for Linda Rice. Looking to win back-to-back starts. Only prior start at Saratoga was a win for the 7.
And it was a good win. From just off the pace at about, I don't know what the price was that day, but got a 69 buyer. And, you know, the horse is 4 for 16 lifetime. And had been in some barns. I'm not taking shots, but not as good as barn as Linda's barns.
Well, one thing I notice about him is if you look at his mile and his 16th races, they're okay. But then when he's cut back to the mile, he's always run a better race. Now he has to stretch out to 9 furlongs. I think the distance is kind of a
That's
question
the question
for him, too.
You're right with that.
Fans enjoying the final day, the first 4 days of this meet. We had some fireworks already through the first couple of days. Fantastic photo finish in the Diana. We're going to talk more about that a little bit later on in the show. We, of course, Monomoy Girl cementing her status as a top 3-year-old filly in the land on Sunday. And we are just getting started, and what should be a sensational summer here at Saratoga. We will kick things off here in just a moment with Make the Rules, who we're going to see here momentarily. 9-2 on the 2016 Fasig-Tipton October sale grad. Off the claim for Mike Maker.
Has the pedigree to handle a sloppy track, and he's supposed to be the speed if he breaks clean from the inside. It's a tough stretch for a horse, though.
Harangue the 3, a 2015 Fasig-Tipton May sale graduate. Ricardo Santana Jr. aboard.
I'm a big fan of Harangue in this race. I think he faced a much, much tougher field last time, and once he got off the inside, he really was running late.
Korea's Brooklyn Law, the 4 for Ed DeLauro, and Dylan Davis aboard.
Claimed 3 starts ago, goes the furthest distance of his career today. I think he faces a tall order, and the public agrees.
Trustworthy, the 5 at 19-1 for Anthony Quartarolo and Paco Lopez.
Luch Stables ships this one in. He'd have to improve off his recent efforts out of town.
Tis no bluff for Michelle Nevin. It's Manny Franco in the irons for JMS.
Homebred for JMS Stable. I would describe him as a little bit clumsy, but he has some talent. He just needs to have one race where he can just run the entire way without being stopped.
Here is Sanavi, is 1 at the track, is 2 for 2 on off tracks, off the claim for Linda Rice.
And it's important to note he's the only multiple winner in this race. His last race, though, is much his fastest race. His other races just make him a contender.
Indigo Yankee, the 8. He put it all together, broke his maiden last start for Ian Wilkes with Jose Ortiz.
And he certainly has the right silks for this spot. Mary Lou Whitney Stables. This horse finally put it together. He could be dangerous here at a price.
And Macha's Reward for Ron Moquette should show speed. Luis Saez in the irons.
Tough to make get position from the outside post going a 1 1/8 at Saratoga. Even if he was good enough, he may be doomed to a tough trip.
So 9-5 on Sanavi, and I know, Andy, you were talking a little bit about this horse in the most recent efforts, but what are the positives with the current favorite?
Well, I mean, the positive is, A, it's going to Linda Rice. Now, Linda's numbers off the claim with dirt routers aren't super strong, to be honest with you. The positives are if he runs his last race in the 87 Beyer, he's likely to beat these horses. But, you know, he ships him from California, Frank. He's a bit of an unknown. I think hasn't run in over 2 months. I just think there's some sort of random questions because his overall form is okay, but not 9-5 in this spot. And Linda's numbers off the claim, not great with dirt routers.
The edge that he has is he's the only multiple winner in here, and I think that's what the public is zoning in on. Between that and going to Linda's barn, it's hard for me to swallow that price as well, and you know I love Chuck.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I'm not going to argue that he should be the favorite in this race because he should be the favorite. I just think there are others. I'm very surprised to see this huge price on Harang. Harang was switching first time for Juan Carlos Guerrero, which anyone in the East Coast and the Mid-Atlantic knows is a dangerous move. And faced a field last time. I mean, why not with second in a very tough stake on closing weekend at Belmont and New York Breds, exalting the winners, a talented runner for Godolphin. That field blows this field out of the water. And I just thought he was sort of spinning his wheels inside, and he was running late in the race, and then even in the gallop out, once taken off the inside. You could even see improvement in that field for Juan Carlos Guerrero, and now he's meeting an easier field. Why is he this price?
I think the reason he's this price is, number one, that's not a household name here at Saratoga. If you watch a lot of parks racing, you're very familiar with this barn. Number two, you look at the races that he ran at Oaklawn, and I love Oaklawn as much as anyone, spending 4 years there calling their races. Their non-winners of 2 lifetime for $30,000 are not very tough races, and this horse was a huge price in both of those events.
You were banking on the fact that he improved last time, first time, and this is a new horse. And you know what's pretty exciting? Juan Carlos Guerrero is in Saratoga, Frank. We'll talk more about it after Maggie speaks to him.
We're going to try to make him a household name here at the spa as Carlos Guerrero joins me now. And Carlos, first, I want to talk about this horse's size. Harang is enormous.
Yeah, I think he's got to be over 18 hands at least. I said, because my pony, I have a big pony, and he towers over him. And my pony's 17.3, so yeah.
Wow. Well, this is second time out for you. And as Andy said, had a little trouble, but galloped out really nicely. How well do you think he'll adjust to this 1 1/8 2 turns here at the spa?
I think he's going to like it a lot. You know, last time was a little too short for him. I think the 1 turn mile, I think they just got away from him a little bit. 2 turns, he should, you know, do very well for him. He's just got a very long stride, and, you know, he just keeps going all day. So, and then the gallop now after the last race, he galloped out in front of everybody after the turn. So I really think he's going to do good today.
Now, the big question, obviously, is the track condition. He only has 1 listed wet race, which was over a good surface, so it's completely different, though. Any indication of how he'll do?
I really don't think he's going to have a problem with it. You know, I trained him over in this lap before, and he never gave me any, you know, that he won't like it.
Yeah.
I'm still a little bit nervous about it, but I think he's going to have no problem with it.
Well, we're wishing you the best of luck. Thanks for joining us here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Or Andy, I should say. There, I got a little inside information for you.
I like him. Poor horse has no chance, Frank.
Well, one other positive, if you're looking for angles to back number 3, Harang, his dam ran on wet surfaces 4 times, was in the money on 3 of those occasions, so that certainly bodes well.
Let's quickly talk about some horses here. The one make the rules, can make the lead, but can he make the 1 1/8? Frank?
He looked like a big boy last time. I like the way he made that lead with relative ease, going 23-2 last time out. He was cruising early. I actually like this horse. He has 2 siblings, both of whom were primarily routers, and I would not at all be surprised if he took this field wire to wire. He's my top selection in this race.
Not good numbers for Mike Maker off the claim on dirt, however. Tisno Bluff does not like to win. Can he bounce back off a poor effort last time?
Yes, he was a little bit dull last time out, there's no question, but he has ability. He's bred to be better than his record indicates, and he has fired. When he ran in his debut, I actually called that race, and I put him in stable mail immediately saying he'll gallop in his next start. There is talent there. He's had enough time now with Michelle Nevin. His mommy was a stone-cold runner for this same outfit. I ain't bluffing for the Siegel family. One day he could come out of it. He just needs a clean trip because
Frank, he's had too many chances for my money at a short price as we head back upstairs to Greg Wolf on the roof.
Thank you, Andy. 2 minutes to post here in race 8. As we get a look at Tisno Bluff here for Michelle Nevin, one of the main contenders here in this spot. 7-2 on the 6-horse with Manny Franco in the irons. 8th, 9th still to come here on this Monday from Saratoga to close out this week's action.
They're off at Saratoga.
You're watching Saratoga Live on Fox Sports 2 and other regional networks across the country. Good to have you with us. It is presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Greg Wolf, Paul LaDuca, Gabby Gaudette. Downstairs we have Andy Serling, Frank Miramati, and of course Maggie Wolfendale with us as well with our paddock reports. And 8-5 favoritism right now on the Linda Rice runner off the claim in here. As we take a look at the 4 in here, Kriya's Brooklyn Law. Dylan Davis in the irons, 13-1, has won on an off track before.
Yeah, I like this horse a little bit because the reason why is the horse has not competitive against these. He's a 3-year-old that really hasn't done much, but when you look at his wet form, he really moves up a ton, and I think he can maybe not win this race, at least crack the board here at a big price.
Meanwhile, did you want to add something?
I like him too. I think he's a horse that really fits the flow of the race as well, and as you said, moves up on the track.
Indigo Yankee, the 8. We have kind of a new shooter. Put it all together last time out. 1 for 50 maiden claiming at Churchill. Your thoughts on that horse?
Well, I see that there's going to be maybe a quick pace. We've got the 1, 3, and the horse to the outside, the 9 Matches Reward, that could all show an early amount of speed. Indigo Yankee at least proves that he can close from off the pace, maybe sit the trip. And yes, this track is unknown, but at least he gets a little bit of a Fleet Alex influence on the bottom side of the pedigree. I just think he's really intriguing at 9-1. He might not be good enough, but I'm willing to take a shot at the price.
Let's see if he could step up in here. First try against winners. First try on an off track as well. There's Manny Franco on Tis No Bluff. Knows this one well, has been on board each of the last 3 starts. Sanavi, your favorite in next. There's Irad Ortiz Jr. His brother will move in right next door to him. There is Jose on Indigo Yankee. We are set for the 8th here from Saratoga. 1 1/8 on this sloppy going. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of horse racing's Triple Crown for the call. Here's Larry Colmus.
Kriya's Brooklyn Law now moving into the starting gate. Will be followed by Trustworthy. And last of them all will be Maka's Reward, who will take the outside stall and complete the line here. 3-2 on Sanavi, the favorite. They're all in line, ready for the start. They're off. It was a good start for Sanavi, who came out running well, but Make the Rules will grab the lead from the inside. And right alongside is Trustworthy going into that turn. So it's these two, and just to their outside, Tis No Bluff is away running in 3rd position. They're followed by a ground-saving Harangue 4th on the inside as Maka's Reward goes up on the outside of horses, and then Kriya's Brooklyn Law. Sanavi is just outside of him and 5.5 lengths off the lead. The trailer is Indigo Yankee. 23.58, a solid first fraction onto the backstretch. Make the Rules a neck ahead of Trustworthy, and on their outside, Tis No Bluff sits just outside the top 2, runs 3rd up the backstretch. Maka's Reward is down toward the inside. Harangue is right there too as they continue up the backstretch. Between those two is Kriya's Brooklyn Law, and then it's Sanavi and Indigo Yankee on the inside. Only 5 lengths from top to bottom, continuing through a 47.66 half mile. Make the Rules and Javier Castellano on top, a half a length here. Trustworthy is second. Tis No Bluff perched outside of them at the half-mile pole as now they move into the far turn. And then it's Harangue, Kriya's Brooklyn Law, 3 wide, Maka's Reward. Sanavi's going to come outside of them, and Indigo Yankee's going to ride the rail. Around the far turn, Make the Rules on the inside. Trustworthy alongside, Tis No Bluff outside of them. 2 lengths back, and Sanavi is now getting closer and moving up 4 wide on the turn and gonna go 5 wide. Here's Indigo Yankee, who now swings up way on the outside, and they're into the stretch. Make the Rules, Trustworthy, finding room between those two. Harangue has come on the scene, and way in the center of the track are Indigo Yankee and Sanavi, and it's these two now, Indigo Yankee and Sanavi, who emerge from the pack 1-2, and Harangue is 3rd as they come down to the line. Indigo Yankee and Sanavi. Indigo Yankee over Sanavi at the wire. Harangue was 3rd. Tis No Bluff was 4th in 151.43.
Well, I guess he was good enough here. First try against winners for Indigo Yankee. That's back-to-back victories for this trainee by Ian Wilkes.
Yeah, for where Mary Lou Whitney stables here. Jose Ortiz, he took the widest route home here. Great call by you, Maggie, Gabby here, as this son of midshipman at 9-1 as the Ortiz brothers run 1-2. Just circle.
Number 8.
Wider's better.
He got a great trip. I mean, it looked like a contentious pace in front of him. Jose Ortiz angled him out into the clear and kicked on. It did look like Sanavi was kind of floating him a little bit wide coming down the stretch, but these two look like the two best on the day.
Two brothers playing a little ping pong, right?
And when you saw these two go that wide around the turn, did you think it was bad news?
I couldn't tell, right? But you could tell that Indigo Yankee had the momentum, you know?
Andy, 9-1 on Indigo Yankee. Impressive performance here in this first effort against Winners.
Excellent selection by Gabby in that situation. And when you have a Mary Lou Whitney runner, you better get them cranked up with everything they have for the spa. And
I maintain if you just got 9-1 on this horse, you got robbed.
And you're getting $20 or more.
And you got robbed.
Okay.
So Indigo Yankee back-to-back wins here for the son of midshipman and relishing the off-going here.
I don't feel like I got robbed.
You know what? He just doesn't realize there's that many Gabby Gaudet followers. Okay?
That's it. You're right. Accurate there.
There's too many cronies out
It's
there.
true. She hurt the price.
Yeah, she did.
But she gives back to the people. That's what she does. Look how wide this trip is. The 7 Sanavi hooks up with the 8 right there, the 8 widest of everybody.
She's got a little relish on her hot dog before she finished her job.
We can actually see at one point Irad going to the left hand and Jose going into the right hand. They both switched sticks as soon as they kind of evened out here coming down the lane. But caked in mud, this 8 horse.
Yeah.
And the 2 Ortiz brothers hooked up down the stretch.
It's unreal, right? Doesn't matter.
Let's take a look at this move.
You can see the goggles, by the way. A lot of people don't realize they wear about 6 or 7. You can see the horse is stuck on the inside. So Jose's like, listen, I got a dead 3 in front of me. Listen, I bet the 4. The 4 is now dead. He's in a full-out drive. Jose goes, I have to pull out of here and go around these horses because I'm going to get dead stopped on the inside. And he made a split-second decision, Gab.
He did. It almost looked like Irad kept him in a little bit long as he was making his move, but finally Jose had to take back a little bit and go the widest of all, the overland route, so to speak. But sometimes horses like this, once they're in the clear, they just really kick on, especially a horse like this who doesn't have experience in the slop. At least he's not getting kickback in his face.
Yeah, and how about his brother going, okay, you're going to go by me? I'm going to point my horse right at you, the 7, and make sure you're really going to have to go by me. And the 7 did fight on. It's just that the younger brother, Jose, had a little bit more left.
Winds up winning by about a length in the end. It looked like it was going to be a lot closer than that. And getting dirty, working hard, and earning that victory here. Jose Ortiz in Indigo Yankee. Certainly got a little education and get some mud in the face today. $21.40 for the win for the son of midshipman.
Congratulations to the connections. Always good to see Mary Lou Whitney get a victory here at Saratoga.
So true, so true. I mean, the tradition behind Mary Lou herself and what she's done for this game and Saratoga has been unbelievable. And as soon as you thought this pick 5 was going to start off with a $3.60 horse, they came with Ruby Notion and Indigo Yankee just to ruin your day, didn't they?
Back to, well, not if you're alive.
Not if you're alive.
We are rooting for you to bring this thing home. Let's go downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale, standing by with a winning trainer.
And always nice to be greeted here in the winner's circle by Ian Wilkes, sending out Indigo Yankee. And Ian, this horse with back-to-back wins now, is he just a matter of him figuring out the game?
I think so. You know, I always thought he was a little better than what he was, and the win last time probably helped him, and then he run good today. Maybe, you know, he liked the muddy track.
And I heard you talking with Jose and talking about going so wide. That was obviously the best choice.
Well, that was up to Jose. You know, he thought about going inside, he said, and then he said, nah, let's just go outside because he had a lot of horse, and he was taking him in the race there, so that was good.
And how special is it to win a race for Mrs. Mary Lou Whitney? All of her philanthropic work for Saratoga, I mean, those colors are iconic.
Yeah, it's priceless. You know, I haven't got words to explain because I'm honored. It's a pleasure. I treat them, they're like friends, more than owner and trainer association. So it's tremendous, you know, and I don't have the words to explain it because it just, I would do it in just.
well, certainly grateful and humble here. Congratulations, though, with Indigo Yankee.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
All right, Maggie, thank you very much. Yeah, it wouldn't seem like a Saratoga meeting without seeing Mary Lou Whitney Stables getting into the winner's circle.
You're right. I mean, it's just that's just as true as they come.
So Indigo Yankee with the win and another monster number in this Naira Bets late pick 5 sequence. We're going to read off some of those numbers to you coming up with Nightcap ahead. They're amazing. Time for what's trending, though, right now. And let's head downstairs to the guys here. Wooderson for Todd Pletcher has a pretty nice pedigree and lived up to it.
Yeah, when you get a horse after Rachel Alexandra, people are certainly expecting a lot. And this is a horse that, sometimes Todd Pletcher will take a couple of starts. People are so used to his horses thinking they're all going to win first time out, and obviously he wanted more distance. And Frank, he was coming off an awfully tough trip at Monmouth last time that you even commented on in the call, as well as being on a dead rail.
This horse had a horrific trip, might be the worst trip of the meet. And these Pletcher horses that have races, there was one the day before that had run at Gulfstream for Wertheimer and Frere, and they're known for legendary turf runners, but I just thought that horse didn't take any action at Gulfstream, so maybe it wasn't that good.
Well, it was the wrong
Stretched out
surface.
and won. Right, exactly. This one here certainly had a right to improve. The question was, could he improve that much in order to win a race at Saratoga? That's very difficult to do. He had to be a very classy individual to do it, and he did it with style.
No, I agree, because it did look like a relatively tough field on paper. The Phipps McGay horse who finished third had run well in his two recent efforts, and the horse who ran second figured to improve stretching out, and this horse just got together. And Todd Pletcher, one of the reasons he is successful as he is, but particularly he's been so successful at Saratoga, is, listen, he's pointing for races here, and he has over the years won with some horses that on paper, they don't look good enough, and they've fooled me over time. I think as a handicapper, you have to ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? I mean, the last winner, did I do something wrong? Now, I don't know that I could have ever had that horse, but, you have to try to adapt. And I think with Todd Pletcher, I've learned to sometimes be a little more forgiving of his horses, especially in the route races here.
And the thing about it is you have to look at trainer intent sometimes more so than the form. And at Monmouth Park, year in and year out, we have had horses running there that do extremely well here. They come out, Sweet Loretta, Grade 1 winner. Guess where she debuted, Monmouth Park. This year, Nona Madeline comes back, runs a great race in the Adirondack, and there are other maidens. Look, the thing about it is, and Chad Brown has run a lot more horses this year at Monmouth Park, it seems, and these horses need somewhere to run. So they get an opportunity, and all of a sudden, boom, they're ready to shine when they get here.
Well, we've seen Todd Pletcher over the years at Saratoga have 2-year-olds break their maiden at Monmouth, and they'll come back and they'll improve dramatically and run well and even win stakes here. And, the first start a horse makes, particularly the first two, they're not going to be the most important starts of their career if they're going anywhere. And I think if you look at Todd Pletcher, one of the reasons he won the Derby, a couple of Derbies recently, he's not necessarily always having horses that are brilliant early. They take a little time to get going, and sometimes those are the horses that do much better later on.
They get a little experience. We all want to see those Pletcher rocket ships right out of the gate. Some of them already have some experience, and some of them with other connections as well. You see like maybe a slight loss by 3/4 of a length at a lesser track. You think, can they do it here? Yes, because guess what? They have the experience over the first-time starter, and that's huge.
All right, Greg.
All right, thanks, guys. Maybe you can continue that more with a podcast later on tonight. It'd be fascinating. We have one more still to come. That was a really nice runner, though, from Todd. 85 buyer in that effort last time out, so very intriguing. Coming up tonight, Maggie Wolfendale, I don't know how she's going to do it. She's working for us. Then she's got to head over to this. TRF board member, cantering by in beautiful form, broadcasting from horseback. She'll be at Hay, Oats, and Spaghetti. That's tonight. This tweet was sent out the other day. Hope you will, too. So to get involved, it's at the Saratoga Automobile Museum, the 6th annual, going on tonight. $100 per person to get in from 6 to 9 p.m., and it all goes to a great cause, saving racehorses.
Yeah, it really is a great cause, and there's nothing better than pasta and horses. I mean, if you put them together, it makes it even extra special. So Maggie going to be doing a good thing for a great cause.
All right, that is coming up tonight. Again, Saratoga Automobile Museum from 6 to 9 p.m. Is that us up there? Sort of see us. We have the screen behind us. Tough to see, but that's where we reside, do our show. We still got one to come tonight. 9th at Saratoga. Off the turf, main track. You have the pick 5 payouts. We're going to talk about them here in a moment.
I have them, I thought it was only 3 paid to the pick 6, but I was wrong. 3, 10, and 12 pay the pick 6. Everybody else carries over. I will get you the pick 5s here in less than 30 seconds, my friend.
10,000, I want to say.
Is the lowest you
Lowest?
No, I think 7,000 is the lowest you
Oh, you're
can
right. You're right.
Yes.
We're going to take a break. Tom Durkin, no better way to take a tour at the Racing Museum Hall of Fame than with one of the great voices the sport has ever known. We'll be back with more on that.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Kentucky Derby winner Orb was the leading freshman sale sire of weanlings, yearlings, and 2-year-olds. On the track, his runners have scored on both dirt and turf, including Orbelution, stakes performer Scrapper, and TDN rising star Explorer. In the sales ring, his progeny continue to sell well beyond his stud fee, including the $1 million co-sale topper at Saratoga. Classic winner, classic pedigree, classic results. Orb, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Success starts at Saratoga. The Saratoga Selected Yearling Sale has established a reputation for high quality and high performance. Recent graduates include Grade 1 winners Avenge, Bolt d'Oro, and Moonshine Memories, and 2017 Breeders' Cup champions Battle of Midway, Stormy Liberal, and Rushing Fall. The nation's #1 sale by percentage of Grade 1 winners, the Fasig-Tipton Saratoga Sale, August 6th and 7th.
We found Breeders' Cup champion Rushing Fall at Saratoga. Where will you be?
After I retired, after I retired, I was looking for stuff to do, frankly, and I always thought I'd like to be a tour guide in Italy, because I used to live over there, and I used to follow around the tour guides going all around Florence, and I learned the history and the culture of history and culture of Florence and Italy in particular. So I wanted to be a tour guide. That's what I thought I was going to do, and then I thought, well, why not be a tour guide down the street from where you live in the museum? So I asked the folks here, and they said, yeah, it's a good idea, let's do it. And this is Nashua, the great star 3-year-old of 1955. He kind of shared that title with his big rival, who was Swaps. I love telling the story of the father of the turf, Sir Tregonwell Frampton, mostly because I think I just like saying the guy's name, Tregonwell Frampton. This portrait is so far and away, by far and away, the most flattering. This was not an attractive man. And so Bunbury, luckily for us, does not name the filly race after himself, but he named it after his farm, which is called the Oaks. So that's why we have the Kentucky Oaks and the Coaching Club American Oaks and what have you. Well, they decided to make a movie out of it in time, and Jimmy Cagney plays the role of Todd Sloan. And the name of the movie was Yankee Doodle Dandy. He was a rough character. Early on in particular, he was actually found guilty of assault and armed robbery. So in 1863, he gets a bunch of horses together, and he uses the harness track that's over here where Oklahoma is. Vestiges of that still remain. And the meeting's a huge success. So he wanted to buy up all the property across the street for 1864 to open up his own racetrack. And he does. 15 winners of the Travers Stakes were sired by Lexington. But he was a great racehorse as well as a sire. That's why he's the reason they invented the stopwatch. One of the aspects I enjoy about it most is that I actually get to talk and interact with people, which was something I could not do. Calling races for 43 years, I just had to be up in that booth, and frankly, I didn't want to be up there because they were a distraction to the job I had to do. And I'm a social person, and it's just really nice to be able to socialize and have contact with horse racing fans. It's great. Where are you from?
Vegas.
Oh my God, Vegas. Goodness gracious. You've come to the place that was Vegas before Vegas. So if you guys want pictures, everybody, it seems, is adept at taking pictures with their iPhones. So if you want to come together as a group or two of you are together, you can just hand it off to someone else. Oh no, I got a strict rule. My arms around the girls. Get Secretariat in here. Don't forget him. Thanks for helping the museum out, and good luck at the track, all right?
Tom Durkin, you could be part of a guided museum tour by one of the great voices in the history of this sport. For reservations, there is the number to call. It is right across the street from the racetrack. I believe he's doing it every weekday. I want to say 12 to 2, but you want to double check on that. Definitely a great way to see it. I made the trip to the museum last year. It is absolutely worth spending a day there. Go on a Tuesday.
Okay. Tomorrow's Tuesday.
Let's all go. Field trip.
I'm in.
All right.
This weekend, we're going to get our Tuesday off to kind of regroup, but then we got another big weekend ahead. Vino Rosso will be back in action in the Jim Dandy. He worked on Saturday. Of course, we last saw him in his fourth-place performance in the Belmont.
Speaking of Tom Durkin, he likes a little bit of his wine, and Vino Rosso, yeah, going to try to rebound from his fourth-place finish at the Belmont and Justify. He took his best shot. Maybe he's just the second-rung type of 3-year-olds, but he's going to be one of the horses definitely to win.
I've liked this horse throughout the Triple Crown campaign, and I guess he just hasn't quite put it all together just yet, but he could be a horse to turn things around in the second half of the year.
True. And it's going to be a fun one. It always is. Jim Dandy, and then on to the Travers later in the meet. Time for a paddock report right now for our finale. It's brought to you by Hillendale Farm, now standing Curlin for $150,000. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, Greg. And we'll check in with a duo of first-time starters, but one that kind of has a interesting pedigree is number 6 in here. That is Adorina for trainer Tom Bush, and she is actually a half to a horse that we saw running around here at Saratoga, an Ichabod Crane. He actually won our Evan Shipman several years ago. But what's interesting about Ichabod Crane is that he is actually a Breyer horse now. He's a very accomplished eventer, so on and so forth, and just a kind of interesting horse. He also won the Retired Racehorse Project a couple years ago, as well as the champion retired thoroughbred. As Adorina here in the paddock, while the other siblings besides Ichabod Crane were more accomplished on the turf, so she was intended to run on that surface, I don't mind her actually getting over this sloppy going. She actually has those narrow hooves kind of straight up and down through her pasterns. Yes, Tom Bush's horses aren't necessarily geared up to win at first asking, and that might be the case with her, but I appreciate the fact that they kept her on, or kept her in the race, despite this coming off the turf. As we'll take a look at the hot firster, if you will. That is on the outside with number 12, Icy Maneuvers for Rodrigo Ubillo. And the last time that Rodrigo decided to enter a horse MTO, I believe it may have been a Highway Star that debuted in an off-the-turf event. And this one has some pretty nice works coming in to this race. She's a good-looking filly, nicely balanced, solid overall, very well conditioned too. The only problem I'm a little bit concerned about, and I'm sure Rodrigo thinking that the track may come up wet anyway if you're entering an MTO, is that sometimes Frost Giants don't necessarily love a wet track. So we'll see how she handles the going here today, but obviously very well prepared, as number 7 Silencia took all kinds of money in that Satisfy race and set the pace and tired and faltered badly that day. So I'm getting the same vibes from her here once again. She was actually kind of rearing up a little bit earlier as well. So she is a feisty, sharp type. I'm sure she'll appreciate 5.5 here. We'll see how she does on this sloppy main track. What do you guys over just across the way in the paddock studio think about Silencia?
Well, I like Silencia, and we will get to Silencia, Maggie, and I'm going to bet her in this race, actually. But I know Frank is extremely excited. I mean, you're more than extremely excited about Mama Mary. You haven't slept in, like, since the PPs came out, right?
I was so excited because, number one, we have a little competition, you and I. We can't help it. And I was hoping, if this race came off the turf, that you would not pick her. And that's
I
everything
wouldn't pick her on any surface.
I understand that. I don't know why. You make her debut seem like it was a bad one. It was a solid performance.
She was bet off the board like she couldn't lose, and she barely picked up her feet.
Well, let's talk about the trip that she had.
A perfect one.
No, I disagree. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. It was not a perfect trip, and it was not like a bad trip that deserved any sort of trouble note whatsoever. But it was a first-time starter in a packed field racing in between horses. I'm sorry, my friend. That is not a perfect trip.
She wheeled out in the clear in the stretch. She was bet like a runner, and she didn't pick it up.
She finished third, and there was really no... I'm not saying there was an excuse. She was bad and she disappointed.
But
I agree with that.
why would you want her now on the dirt when the connections clearly wanted to run her on the turf?
That's a softball that I've been waiting for, my friend, right down the middle of the plate. There are 7 winning siblings in this family. The best one being Jessica Is Back, who earned over $800,000. How about Jessica Is Back ran 15 times on a wet track, 8 wins. Super Danny earned $200,000. 6 starts.
Right. We got to take a break,
mud,
but I'm happy to continue
wins.
this argument. We come back.
2 others
I want a booker, you want a better.
Open up the window.
Into the final furlong of the Claiborne Breeders' Futurity, and Classic Empire wins it in style.
Here's the Meyer, Classic Empire. He's a champion 2-year-old.
Here's the champ, Classic Empire, Classic Empire!
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates.
Off the turn with a link to the half lead.
Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200.
Finish.
Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Back on Saratoga Live on Fox Sports 2 and other regional networks across the country. Appropriate. Nice little statue there. You got to have that if you live in Saratoga Springs. How about those digs? Wow, that is a castle.
Not bad. Look at the gold on the gate.
If you live there, hold on one second. Aren't you obligated to throw a party if that's your house for the town?
Of course.
I don't know about the town, but yeah.
Okay, maybe that's a little extreme.
Yeah, the town's extreme.
But at least, you know, maybe all your friends at the racetrack,
the
right?
state of New York.
Yeah.
Welcome all.
I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to set the date. And if whoever owns that house would like to oblige, why don't we say arbitrarily
We're going to keep Paul up there.
Jim Dandy Day next Saturday?
Well, listen, I'm just going to put Sam the Bugler up on the deck.
That would be phenomenal. I like this party. It's getting better and better by the minute. Here comes our post parade for the Nightcap. Miss Big Times kicks things off. Jeremiah Engelhart and a 2016 Fasig-Tipton August sale grad.
They've tinkered with this filly a couple times. Speed last time, and she just came up short with a nice second-place finish.
Miss McLean, the 4, trained by Jonathan Buckley. Mike Luzzy rides.
Slow race first time out. Will definitely have to improve here today, but did get in a little bit of trouble.
At Arena, here's the Kind Ichabod Crane Maggie Wolfendale was talking about, trained by Thomas Bush.
Making her debut here today and has a lovely pedigree by Bernardini.
Silencia, trained by Charlie Baker. Dylan Davis aboard.
You told me to be
No,
quiet.
you go ahead. You can speak now.
Oh, Silencia by Dylan Davis and Charlie Baker here.
So versatile. Paula Duca, fluent in many languages. Mama Mary, the 10, 2016 Fasig-Tipton August sale grad for Joe Sharp.
And owned by Brad Grady, hopes to improve on the surface switch today.
And a first-time starter on the outside here, Icy Maneuvers, Rodrigo Ubillo.
Yeah, this filly's been clocking bullets after bullets down at Belmont Park, and the money is showing on her at 2-1.
This dam for the 12 is what happens downstairs a lot. They burn a lot of carbs, burning carbs.
Another look here at the 4, 18-1 on the daughter of McLean's Music with Mike Luzzy. Distant third at Finger Lakes in that debut effort, and a big price here in the shift to Saratoga as we send it downstairs to Andy and the Mirror Man, who continue their argument here about the 10-horse.
I don't know, Greg, if we have much fight left, and we'll go to some others. We may fight a little bit later. We may be fighting on the set afterwards if people want to stop by. I told Luis Saez he should scratch the 10 because Frank was on his back. What about the 12 Icy Maneuvers? I mean, this is a horse. I mean, let's be honest. We don't know if anyone like a wet track, and obviously anybody's susceptible to really like it. This is a horse who's working faster than this race might be run.
She's good looking, too. The Bromans unleash many a firster that can run, so I'm certainly afraid of her. And the money came in pretty hard because early on, Mama Mary was pounded, and then suddenly the money for Icy Maneuvers showed up. And so she looks well, and there's nothing fancy on the dam or sibling side, so it must be just raw ability, and that nice 47 breeze certainly doesn't hurt her chances.
Yeah, there's some pretty good in the second generation of the dam, but I agree, it's not a screaming pedigree. She's working. I do want to talk about the 7, Silencia, who I'm betting in this race.
Yep.
This horse was bet first time out for trainer Charlie Baker. That was a deep field at Belmont Park, and she was just bet like they already ran the race. She flashed speed, and she absolutely stopped. Now, either the money was completely wrong or something went badly wrong that day. For my money, if I can get a price on a second-time starter, and she's 5-1 right now, which is a square price, that took money like that for a sharp barn, I've got to give them one more chance.
I don't blame you, and she is very, very fast away from the gate, so I'm expecting her to blast out of there once again. I would not be surprised. This is a horse that would not shock me if she ran well at all, but I just have to say once again, Mama Mary is bred to love the mud. You can't ignore it, Andy, when there are multiple winning siblings with multiple wins on a wet track, and she's a legitimate contender. I'm all over the 10.
I could be wrong, and I'm wrong a lot, but Greg, I think that Frank likes the 10, Mama Mary.
It's starting to become an obsession here. It's starting to scare me a little bit. 2-1 with Mama Mary, Frank Miramati all over. Mama Mary, starting gate crew making their way to the gate right now. Our finale coming up as we approach the 4-minute mark to post. Frank, everything he's ever made in his life, putting it on this horse right here, Mama Mary. We'll see what happens next.
Bayern turning for home in front. Coast of New York on the outside.
California Chrome is third. Shared Belief, Laboring Veteran fifth. 1 furlong to run. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome on the outside. The three of them come to the wire. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome. Here's the finish. Bayern holds on.
I go into the race to try to do the best I can to win the race, so I'm not surprised if I win it, you know what I mean? You're just more disappointed when they don't run any good, whether you had good odds or bad odds, you know. You think that you have a chance when you're in the race. So I look at it that way, you know. I want to go in to win the race, and to say it's a favorite moment or a surprise moment, no, I want to win every time. Well, before I wanted to be a jockey, I always was interested in finance. You know, anything with finance, an accountant, or anything that interests me with numbers and stuff like that. That's what I always looked up into. And I don't know, I went into the business of horse racing. I don't have it very heavy. I don't do very much. The time that I have off, I try to spend it with the kids the best I can. And in the time that I do have off, I read and I try to educate myself. And I think that's my habit, educating myself and learning new things. You know, I've been reading a book for Warren Buffett. So it's a very recent book that I haven't finished, by the way. But you know, I'm still on that book and learning new things.
Still continues to be the winningest jockey of all time based on earnings, and picking up another grade 1 this past weekend in the Diana aboard Sister Charlie. Quick update though in regards to this 9th race, as we have 1 minute to post. Miss McLean is a late scratch here upon recommendation of the veterinarians. She will not play today, as we'll take a look at number 12, Icy Maneuvers, and she's holding steady as a 9-5 favorite as of now, sharing favoritism with number 10, Mama Mary. But Icy Maneuvers, I got a chance to catch up with Rodrigo Ubillo, her trainer, and I asked him, what about these works? And he just said that she just trains so easily. She's doing that very easily and still has a lot left in the tank. So I have a feeling that he's thinking Highway Star ×2 here. It might be getting another star into his barn. We'll see, as he too is a little suspect of the wet track and how she'll handle it. Number 10, Mama Mary, watching her warm up over this wet track, she certainly handled it just fine. So I would have to say that Frank, he might be getting that bet over Andy Sterling here, Greg.
All right, we shall see. Right now, 9-5 co-favorites, Mama Mary, Frank Miramati's selection, and that first-time starter who's been training lights out, Icy Maneuvers on the outside.
Both of us are on her too. That's a lot of weight.
On the first-timer.
Oh, no, on the 10.
On the 10, okay.
Yeah, sorry. I think that obviously these works have been very impressive for the firster, and this race might not be that tough that a first-time starter could surely win it.
Well, yeah, you're looking at the 7. I understand the horse got bet first time out, but still didn't have a great race. And then you're looking now projecting a first-time starter can run, and the 10's got the best race, but it was on a different surface. So a lot going on in here in only a short little field. The 3's the only one with any kind of form on a sloppy racetrack. So I have a feeling the 12 is going to be able to run early. We'll see if she'll be able to stick late.
Well, the 3 showed some pace last time out. We'll see if that one's able to keep any company early on. As the 10 steps in, last to load, the first-timer, daughter of Frost Giant, with Abel Lescano. It is the Nightcap here on this Monday from Saratoga. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York Racing for the call. Here's Larry Colmus.
They're all in line. They're off. And it's Miss Big Times on the inside who goes out of there quickly with Silencia. Mama Mary is away running in third. Not the best of starts for Icy Maneuvers. She's fourth and 5.5 lengths from the front. They've left Adarina behind to trail the field as they head for the far turn, tightly packed. Silencia, the leader, a half a length. Mama Mary second. Miss Big Times backs out of there in third as they make their way around the turn. Icy Maneuvers has made up good ground now and continues a strong and steady gain. Now up into third and just 2 lengths off the lead after an opening quarter mile in 21.84 seconds. A long way back to Adarina at the back of the pack. So they're coming to the top of the stretch, and it's Silencia and Mama Mary. These two are 1-2. Silencia gets away here. Mama Mary goes very wide. And on the inside comes Icy Maneuvers, who's now third. But as they come to the final furlong, it is Silencia who's going for the upset here. A 4-length lead. Mama Mary and Icy Maneuvers battle for second. Silencia and Dylan Davis are far out in front. And it's going to be Silencia. And here comes Adarina up for the place from last. Icy Maneuvers was third, Mama Mary fourth in 106.42.
Silencia, second time out for Charlie Baker with the win, 7-6-12 finish.
They were moving up front, and Silencia was in that tough spot between horses and dueling and able to get it done. And it was just too fast, I think, up front for your horse, Frank.
I think that after all that, I need to be very Silencia because let's face it, I got everything I could dream of, which is head and head down the backstretch with you, and your horse drew off with authority, and my horse had nothing.
Hey guys, you know what the good news for Frank is? There's always pizza tonight.
There's Wednesday too.
Yeah. This horse is much the best here. The 12 was very green, very, very green for a first-time starter. The 6 ended up picking her up for second, but no doubt about the winner.
It looked like the 12 Icy Maneuver. She kind of threw her head coming out of the gate, was lugging out. We even saw Mama Mary lugging out a little bit on the turn, too. So there was a lot of greenness issues happening. Silencia ran a really good race and was pretty professional today as we go back and take a look at the break.
On the 12, took the worst of things here.
Yeah, well, the 10's going to break outward, then the 12 just sort of reacts a little bit, and then you can see
a lot of it.
Yeah, Abel Lescano going to take the right rein, and then she just starts to be becoming green. And that's just the experience of having a start. Even though Silencia did not run well, it's still very important to have it.
And she took a lot of money in her debut, and that's something you have to pay attention to, especially for a shrewd trainer like Charlie Baker. Things might have just gone awry first time out, but she put all the pieces together today.
Silencia at 4-1, second time out. Charlie Baker gets the win. Dylan Davis aboard for the winning ride. The sloppy going here on this Monday afternoon. And in terms of the pick 6.
Pick 6 carryover.
Yeah, how about that for Wednesday? So something to do on your day off. Little extra handicapping because we're going to have a carryover going into that pick 6 on Wednesday when we resume action at Arena. 14-1 here, winding up second, the first-time starter, and Icy Maneuvers, another firster, running third. Chad Brown is emotional, Diana victory, and why that race means so much to him. Sister Charlie's victory, and we'll hear from Chad Brown about it when we come back.
This proven son of Giants Causeway has sired 4 millionaires, including Claiborne Farm stallion Lee. Recent top runners include 4-time graded stakes winner Miss Sky Warrior, 3-time graded stakes winner Sharp Samurai, multiple stakes winner Bal Harbor, and Dubai Group 3 winner Shamal Nibras. Last year, his 2-year-olds sold up to $540,000, while his yearlings fetched up to a whopping $575,000. First Samurai, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Success starts at Saratoga. The Saratoga Selected Yearling Sale has established a reputation for high quality and high performance. Recent graduates include Grade 1 winners Avenge, Bolt d'Oro, and Moonshine Memories, and 2017 Breeders' Cup champions Battle of Midway, Stormy Liberal, and Rushing Fall. The nation's #1 sale by percentage of Grade 1 winners, the Fasig-Tipton Saratoga Sale, August 6th and 7th.
We found Breeders' Cup champion Rushing Fall at Saratoga. Where will you be?
Sister Charlie swings up on the far outside. Close.
Welcome back to Saratoga Live as we have the Nightcap in the books, and it was Silencia, shh, as she snuck away from this field and joined now by her trainer and Charlie Baker. And Charlie, a tale of two different races. From her first start to her second start, she actually had a tougher trip today and pulled away from this field.
Yeah, first start she bucked in, so that was really what she stopped that day because she was trained beautiful going into that race. I mean, she was bet down the favorite because she was doing that good. So she bucked in that day. We pin fire her, brought her back, and she was ready to go.
Now, Charlie, you intended to run her on the turf. Is that still in her future?
You know what? The owner suggested that because they said the mare with the mare, but the mare doesn't have much because she didn't run. She was a runner, but they thought the silent name was a turf more. And we tried her on the turf a few times, turf gallop, and she handled it pretty good. And she's fast, so figured she would handle that. So maybe we tried on the road, but I think she run good enough on the dirt to keep her there. And she works great on the dirt, so I was always thought she was a dirt horse, better dirt horse than a turf horse.
Well, she won impressively today. Congratulations here, Charlie. Always nice to get your first Saratoga win of the meet.
Definitely. No, I can breathe. I can breathe.
I know the feeling, Charlie. Congrats.
Thank you.
Right, Greg, we're all breathing a sigh of relief down here.
I love seeing Charlie Baker in the winner's circle. He's done really well here at Saratoga the last couple of years.
Yeah, you're right. Congratulations, filly by silent name as the sensational mare, Matinee Express. Mr. Hogan, Mr. Landry, Dylan Davis. And there you saw the good-looking Charlie Baker. He's always dangerous here.
Absolutely. $10.60 on Silencia. Maybe turf in her future. Not today, though. Taken off in this spot. She gets into the winner's circle, second time out. Here's a Naira Betts late pick by follow along. Are you kidding me? $18,937 return. It was very difficult to come up with.
You had this, right, Paul?
A couple times.
Gabby gave out Indigo Yankee. Chad Brown at odds on in the first leg.
Yes. And he gave out the horse in the last, Silencia. So if you were able to piece together some of the stuff, Croatia forever, he took a heartbreaker in the World Cup, but not today.
Ooh, you had to bring that up. But yeah, this is going to help heal those wounds. You can play that Saratoga Showdown each and every day. Go to NATWA.com/showdown. You're playing for free points, prizes, things like that, so it equals money in your account. Our first 4 days, kind of a mini week in the books here. We saw some incredible performances here over the first few days.
We really did. We saw two great fillies go at it, and then one great filly emerge in Monomoy Girl. That was the big matchup we were looking forward to, and that got answered very quickly.
Of course, it was an evenly matched race. Everybody had good trips, and Monomoy Girl proved that she was the best, and she is that divisional leader, and she's got a tight hold on it.
Yeah.
Maybe the most thrilling finish, just in terms of how close it was in the Grade 1 Diana. That was Sister Charlie, just by a nostril over Ultra Brat for Graham Motion. And third year in a row that Chad Brown has won the Diana race that was so important to him because the man who'll help bring him up in this game, the late, great Bobby Frankel, loved this race as well.
Sister Charlie swings up on the far outside. Close to home from Sister Charlie. They're coming down to the line. Oh! Sister Charlie into the Diana.
You know, my mentor, Bobby Frank, there's like a handful of races that I just always remember him talking about and really pointing for, and this was definitely one of them. And I think about him every time I participate in this race. And
This 2001
and now the field
Diana,
turns for home.
It's such a cool segue from what we saw this weekend because Chad mentions Bobby Frankel. Bobby Frankel trained Starine, who also won the Breeders' Cup and also owned this horse. But also John Velasquez rode the winner, Sister Charlie. And this ride by John Velasquez, when I think about all my years, Frank, at Saratoga, and there have been a lot of them, and John Velasquez, I've seen every year he's ever ridden here because I was here long before he came here. This sticks out in my mind, frankly, as one of the best rides he ever gave. And, of course, there's Bobby Frankel on the screen right there. So much of this comes together. And I think, Frank, that's one of the beauties of this game.
And Bobby Frankel, I enjoyed him so much. I was following racing in Southern California when he was a claiming master. And I remember a horse that he had by the name of Hackawind, who was a great claimer that kept on going, and he trained nice horses such as Wicker. And then when I see Chad Brown and his enormous success, and that was such a dramatic victory he just had with Sister Charlie, and it was a perfect ride that he got. When I think of Chad Brown and I think of Bobby Frankel, I just think of the common thing being the Juddmonte runners because Bobby Frankel had so many of them and he did such amazing work with them. And now Chad Brown gets those opportunities. Of course, he has so many other owners. But it just warms my heart to see Chad give the love and respect to Bobby Frankel. That's what this game is all about. I think that's what brings us all together and loving it so much.
And knowing Chad Brown as well as I do, this is no act. I mean, Chad talks about Bobby Frankel all the time and tells stories of him, and they're all with such admiration for, he'll tell stories how Bobby would say to him, I'm going to win this race with this horse 8 months from now, and Chad would be like, who does that? And then, of course, the horse would win, and Bobby would say, see, I told you 8 months ago it was going to win. And he talks about it and obviously learned a great deal from him, and Chad Brown would be the first one, I'm sure, to say he could never be the success that he's been if it hadn't been for Bobby Frankel. And it's just so cool to watch all of that come together for Chad Brown, Bobby Frankel, but also John Velasquez being a common link between the horses and the trainers.
He had to work a little early on Sister Charlie last time because she's come up short a couple of times, kept her in the game, and then mowed him down right on the money.
Well, that was an absolutely great race, and as was that Diana. And that was closing day at Saratoga, Greg. In 2000, I think 2000 or 2001, John Velasquez won 6 races that day.
A race that's so important to Chad Brown, too. I mean, obviously meant a lot to Bobby Frankel, so it's important to him. But it also gave Chad Brown his first ever Grade 1 victory with Zagora back in 2011.
Yeah, that was pretty incredible just to see how his career has transpired from there. But just talking to Chad Brown in the winner's circle, you really felt the emotions of that victory and how important the Diana is to him.
Sister Charlie, by the way, got up for that win. Looks like she may go to the Beverly D. That'll be on August 11th. Mile 3/16th, the next test for her. Our next stake race that we have coming up, we have the Honorable Miss ahead. And here's a look at the field that will line up 6 furlongs. This will happen on Wednesday. Finley's Lucky Charm, 8 to 5 in the morning line, 10 for 16 lifetime.
Yeah, listen, she was giant in the Madison when she was able to hold off Miss Sunset in Lewis Bay, and I really think it took a lot out of her. You know, she had a battle all the way from the 10 post for the Humana Distaff, and then American Gal won that race. She's fresh. She was second in this race last year. I think she'll be better off this year, and she draws a cozy outside post.
Yeah, this was really impressive because she did battle off American Gal, who was in this race, and she was setting part of the pace, and she went on to, I think, finish 4th or 5th in here.
Yeah.
So this was an impressive race for her.
So that happens on Wednesday. We started with a bang here at Saratoga. Get a little bit of a respite here for about 24 hours or so, and then back at it on Wednesday, and we start our 6-day weeks. It's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, next weekend, the Jim Dandy as well.
Yeah, we just got to hope Mother Nature cooperates with us and we can stay dry.
Favorite moment of these first few days? Do you have one?
Monomoy Girl winning. I've been a big fan of hers, and I'm just happy to see her really solidify that.
Yeah,
yesterday.
Monomoy Girl. I would like to see her start facing the older fillies. I think she's starting to earn that right.
All right, we'll see if that happens, or is she going to face the boys? Hope you enjoyed it. We are back on Wednesday. We will see you at 4 Eastern to 6:30. In the meantime, enjoy that 1 day of rest. In our feature today, it was Ruby Notion for trainer Darren Miller. Florent Giroux, 27 to 1, helping a massive payout in the Naira Bets late pick 5 sequence. It was monster. And a trophy for the winning connections. And by the way, the Riggies, they have a Halloween celebration at that house every year. We got to go next year.